I'm John Lawless with Castanet News here in Vernon, and today I'm here with Keli Westgate of the BC Greens for the Vernon-Monashee riding. How are you today, Keli?
I'm very well, thank you. A little chilly, but all good.
Great, and I guess I'll ask you your first thing. People want to get to know you. What do you do outside of politics?
Well, a lot of people would know me as the compost lady. I work for Spa Hills Compost, so we're the Okanagan's only food waste and organics composting facility. So we pick up from businesses, residences, stratas and whatnot, compost it, and then that goes back to agriculture.
Yeah, and in terms of like hobbies and stuff, what do you tend to do for fun?
For fun, well, my family loves to bike and hike and paddleboard and do all of the outdoor activities that the Okanagan has to offer. I've also been on a number of nonprofit boards here, the Sustainable Environment Network Society, the O'Keefe Ranch Historical Society, as well as the Federal Green EDA for a little while. And I teach sometimes at Okanagan College, so I'm on the faculty there, and I do voiceover work as well, which I really like.
Oh, broad range. So could you maybe just tell me why you chose to run in this election?
Absolutely. You know, it was a very quick choice, obviously, and having run before, I knew that in this election, there's just not a lot of time for anybody else to get prepared, to get up to speed with our policies. And we did really well here in the last election with over 21% of the vote, which for the Green Party is unprecedented in the Okanagan. So we had a very good showing. We did wonderful things with a very small budget, which is, how I tend to do things anyway. I do have a history in the film production world doing budgets. I was a producer for a while, and so managing the budget I felt that I could do, and when I called my team for help, they were ready to go, and everybody was quite excited and knew that in this situation, you need somebody who's been around the block at least once before and who can speak to the values of the Green Party. Also, Sonia as a leader is fantastic. If you had an opportunity to see the debates last night, she performed extremely well. She's a very compassionate, knowledgeable, hard-working, disciplined person, and that's something that I can really get behind and that's needed. The Green Party is also the only one who is bringing the climate emergency forward and wanting to tackle it. I don't hear that from the other parties, and I'm a mother. I need to do something. I need to work towards a brighter future for my son and for the rest of the community as well.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of segues into our next question. What do you think is the biggest issue in the Vernon-Monashee riding?
It's always tough to narrow it down to one issue because, as you know, we've got multiple overlapping issues right now. Certainly affordability, homelessness and addiction, mental health. But, overarching everything is sort of this climate awareness that I believe that we need, because we need to put an environmental lens on everything that we do now, because we have put climate and ecology on the back burner for so long. Things are now urgent. So things like protecting old growth forests, things like, air quality when we've got fires coming in. This is something that we need to work to prevent and make better. And so, in this riding, obviously, affordability, I think, is a huge issue, and that's quality of jobs, that's affordability of housing. Everybody wants to live here. It's a beautiful place, and it's worth protecting. So I think those two issues together would be top.
Yeah. And why do you think the people of the riding should vote for you?
Well, I get the sense from the community that there's a real want for change and a strong voice in Ottawa. In Ottawa. Can I do that again? The Okanagan needs and deserves a strong voice in Victoria. We have had the same representation for at least 11 years now with the Liberals. I've heard of a desire for change and a stronger voice. I think that the community wasn't happy about the snap election being called in the middle of a pandemic, so I do feel that there is support coming from the NDP as well. And we want to build on the support that we had last time in the last election, and I've felt that in a bigger way in the last 3 weeks than I felt in the 3 months of the previous election. So we're really excited about the support that we've had, the volunteers, the donations, everything is really looking positive.
Yeah, and this is your second major election outside of municipal politics. I know this election is not quite your typical election by any means, but how has your experience from the first time you ran in a major election help with this one?
Well, I think as a Green Party member, change is something that we're quite comfortable with and accepting of that needs to happen. So we can be a little lighter on our feet. I think there's been a lot of positives in a funny way, in that we have to do things. We have to be creative. We have to be online more. Obviously, social distancing is an issue, so it really challenges us to think outside the box and find new ways to reach people. So we've had a very strong social media campaign. We haven't been able to do in-person fundraisers or things like that. So the speed of the election means that we have to be incredibly efficient and we have to work very, very hard, and we're great sprinters. So I think it's okay. I mean, we're doing better than expected.
Well, I think that's about it. Well, thank you, Kelly, and good luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you so much.
For Castanet News, I'm John Lawless in Vernon.